Second sticks.
Second sticks. Mark.
Ready?
All right.
All right. When did you get the impulse to work visually and advocate for Native people?
It took a long time. I feel like, painter is always painting. I mean, you stop it and say, that's a painting, and you exhibit it, you might sell it or something, have it collected. But you're on this path of the visual language that you're creating.
This is kind of a heavy question. How do you hold the traumatic history and maintain your own mental health?
As an artist of color, you have to really face up to what's happened and what continues to happen.
Right.
So we did kind of a digital diagram, and then I came in and wrote each tribe, and there's 5 colors of red.
And this is the first time we've seen this,
Yeah.
What would be your advice to artists, especially younger artists who want to be more activist or have social ideas about the world and through their art? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, it's very easy in a sense, or direct, is that you deal with your community. So that's up right now at the art museum. I mean, one like it. So this is an older one. This is 2000. Mm-hmm. So that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
At OU.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the first that I really saw of yours out
Yeah.
in the world. Yeah.
And we had some of these too, like the art school would have benefit auctions or sales, and no one ever buy these.
Nobody.
Oh no.
Nobody bought them.
No. And they were like so cheap, and almost like giving them away, and now they're $30,000 now.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the size of your work. You've done everything from billboards to site-specific public art with signage. Your paintings are quite large, and now your monoprints, once they're assembled, will be quite large. Can you talk about size with your work?
Yeah, what scale really helps, and today we're in kind of a peculiar place in that, architecture has become museum language. And so previously, as you know, the museums were homes. Now they build you a place for art. So it's bigger.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And they ended up using the airline craft wire on the top.
Okay.
So going to the support beam. Nice. And then on the bottom, they used, like the suction cups for glass.
And that's their birthday that year.
The player's birthday?
No, the chief.
The chief's birthday?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work to find that birthday.
Yeah. He was on those, in Fort Marion, the Peabody collected those masks, and so I found his mask, and then they had his date of his birth on there. And Sundown, that's his birthday on there. He was Seneca guy.
And where the whole team had them, do they still have them now? Or
These?
yeah, whoever was playing that game.
I think they gave them some, the kids and stuff. There's some little ones, and that was kind of their keepsake from coming to hang out with us.
Yeah, that's cool. Who won?
I don't know who won. The Cheyennes won, of course. Who else would win?
Do you feel like you have to be pretty inflammatory as an artist to gain recognition?
Yeah, I mean, it helps, you know. Whenever my public art's more like that. So if I am inflammatory, I'm in the newspaper, I'm on the TV, you know. So you actually use the media to extend your message.
He's your granddaughter.
Yeah, it's Lightning Woman made these. My mother, Margaret, Heap of Birds. These are really old. Probably like 50 years old or something. You know, maybe.
And that's, what hide is that?
I think it's a buckskin. Yeah, it's important to try to stick with that. I mean, they've had, I don't know if it's expediency, but sometimes they jump over to another tribe, they can make the moccasins. But then you got like Kiowa moccasins, you got Cheyenne moccasins. You need to have your own tribe on your feet. You know, not just, is it a moccasin? No, you need to be your tribe, you know the difference. And so it's very important to recover that history and make some adjustments, modifications. Take it, you know, upon yourself to really create a better history, a more illuminated history about life and the earth. You know, public art comes out of that tradition of being, you know, generous. You know, going back to even Mexico, the muralists, my heroes, Siqueiros, you know, Diego. You know, and I've been to their studios in Mexico City and Cuernavaca. You know, and I really admire what they gave to the world in terms of muralism and muralists. Often it's like it's an art venue, you know, where you come and you present your work in a space. You think about it. You might diagram it. You might plan for it. You know, even execute in the studio.
Talking again about your billboards and your signs and your site-specific work versus work that's put into a museum, are the audiences the same or are they different?
No, they're different. You know, I think I feel strongly about being ready for every man, every woman. You know, on the street, being free.
Is camera A? Okay.
White hat, short woman, standing above. I really like the standing above, kind of maybe on a cloud or up above us, kind of a lofty position.
Edgar, these are the primary prints, so this is the first print that comes off the printing press, right?
Well, you have the plate, and it's a plexi plate, and then I've done a treatment to it when it was inked up. And the first way it was translated was as Many Magpies. Then it became, when he was a POW in Florida, and it was Heap of Birds, then later Heap of Birds. And actually my dad was Many Magpies. His Indian name, they call it Indian name, they gave him that name. So he was Many Magpies, Heap of Birds, or Charles, Heap of Birds. And Sore Woman, that's also a grandma that my dad knew. My daughter has that name. Hoetziol is the name. And it's actually when lightning strikes, there's a charge in the earth, and when they connect, then you get the lightning bolt. So it's actually about this power coming and touching the earth. You know, then you get the spark. So Lightning Woman, Milkweed is an old name too, and that's my name, Hockey. I've actually been doing it so long now, for maybe 5 or 6 years, ghosting, that I found beauty in the ghost. You know, I find beauty in the misunderstood print. So I use different kind of paper to make it even more beautiful.
The next one is,
It's gonna be this one.
okay.
And I will double check for you.
Or do
So in my 70 years on this planet, I feel really just happy that I'm able to extend that. You know, I've learned, and I continue to learn, and I'm here to transmit that to tribal members and help them attain these ways so that they can transmit them.